Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. So I just lost my guess. I don't know where they went, but here we are. There they are. There they are.
I'm here.
For a second there, we lost you, but welcome everyone to the show. My name is Jennifer Sanchez. We are live right now. You are watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show. I am the founder and your host of the Women's Institute of Self Development and Efficacy, WISE for short. And the entire reason we started this was because we would do this every week in our private Facebook group. And I said, you know what? Let's actually make this a show and bring on guests and highlight women from the community, and that's who I am. So take it away, Kim.
Good morning, ladies. My name is Kimberly Montesinos, owner of Crystal Clear Cleaning and a proud member of the WISE community. And just want to say good morning. I'm happy to be here with Jennifer and Dr. Maribel Lopez.
And Maribel, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Maribel Lopez. I am not only friends with these beautiful two ladies, part of the WISE Women's membership group, and also, I don't know, where do I start? Author, professor, ordained minister. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me here with you, ladies. I love this.
She does everything. Like you could find her doing like a million things, a million books, teaching, preaching, has her foundation, Dr. Lopez Foundation.
Singing. Don't forget singing.
Oh yeah, singing. That's how we met. Yep, Dr. Lopez. Yep, singing. So thank you, Dr. Lopez. Thank you, Kim, for being on with me this morning. I apologize that I was late. That is my bad. All the technical side stuff was technical, kids, house, coffee, everything. Everything was an explosion of things this morning. So, of course, you guys know, ladies, I see that Asia's on with us early in the morning. She said, good morning, ladies. I'm here with my green tea. And she loves your glasses. She says your glasses are fabulous.
Thank you.
So it's our coffee time or tea time for those that love tea. So as you are jumping on, share with us what you guys are drinking. Kim, what are you drinking this morning?
Okay, so this morning I'm drinking a caramel vanilla flavored coffee. I brought it from home because I'm actually working in my office, so I do apologize for a little bit of mess on my desk. But yeah, I brought this and I kept it warm all the way here so I could share it with you beautiful ladies.
Nice. Thank you. And what kind of coffee do you drink?
Normally?
Yeah.
Normally, my favorite is like a Starbucks caramel latte. I'm a big latte girl, like mocha, pumpkin, all the different flavors. But I do like the green tea mochi, I think it's called. I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but it's
matcha.
Matcha. Yes, yeah. I'm all about that one too. So
nice. Thank you for sharing, Kim. How about you, Dr. Lopez?
Today, I'm a coffee drinker. I am. I mean, I brought it down from 5 cups a day to 2 cups a day. And anytime I want to do a 3, my husband stops me cold. He's like, you had 2 already. But today I do have coffee, but I have Nescafe. Nescafe brings me back to my Latin roots, basically. It's common in Latin families, like in the kitchen of Latin families, and every time I drink it, it's like I get a warm feeling. But I don't drink it every day. I drink Colombian, Puerto Rican, the Bustelo. I like espresso. I'm actually looking for an espresso machine. So if anybody knows about espresso machine, let me know. A good one, but I love espresso.
Nice. And that's, I think I love that Dr. Lopez, she's definitely about her community, her culture. First thing I saw, her book has the beach and the island, so we know she's proud. She's proud of being Latina for sure.
Yes.
Um, so this is great. And then at the end, ladies, you'll get to share your promotions and your promos. And this is the show that pays. So for those that are watching, if you guys at the end want to share any promos in the chat, go for it. We've had women share testimonies how like, oh, I shared this link and all of a sudden I got an order and I was like, well, it wasn't me, so it was somebody watching and watching the comments. So just wanted to put that out there that we support one another's communities, big on supporting each other. So I see women jumping on. We have Mary. Good morning.
Yes, I know Mary. Hi, Mary.
Oh, you know Mary? Yeah, Mary. She said good morning. We also have Asia. She's checking in from Detroit.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's one of our newest members of our community, so we're excited to have her. She said, I love my Milky Way mocha and extra whipped cream, caramel, and chocolate drizzle.
That sounds
good.
It does. It does. It does. And then, of course, we have Angel. I love Nescafe, Café de Olla. It's so good. So I actually took it upon myself. Oh, and we have Cindy also. Good morning. She's also a new member that just jumped on into our community. So welcome. So I actually put a call out. I want to try different coffees. Like I think that's gonna be I've been trying different coffees. Yes, I'm drinking, a coffee. I think French coffee. It's called French something coffee. I don't know. It's black. But I thought, our last co-host would support small business coffees. I don't know if you guys caught it. Maria Paloma, she would actually promote coffees from different shops or unique coffees. I think one was like Joel Santana. One, I didn't even know he had a coffee. Is that what his name is? The Santana, the guitarist, right? She promoted once his coffee. So I said, you know what? I should start promoting like coffee shop branded coffee. So if anyone has some coffees they want to recommend or would like to promote on the show, let us know. We are definitely willing to promote your coffee. But yeah, I'm drinking straight black coffee. And actually, matcha, Kim, is really good for it's green tea, but it's a stronger green tea. But when I'm sick, I take matcha tea. And it's something I learned from my mother-in-law, and it really helps you just like sweat out whatever is in there. So I remember that's really good. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, thank you.
And of course we have Liza Oliva. Good morning, team. So Liza, another amazing member of the community. Awesome. So let's get into these conversations because I know these are going to be hot topics. These are going to be like these passionate, driven, inspired topics. And we're not going to we try not to go political here at all whatsoever. We just try to state the facts of what happened. Right. And, Kim's laughing at me right now because it's hard, right? It's hard to pull out your opinions from what side you're on. Like I agree with some of this stuff on this side. I agree with some of this stuff on that side. Right. That's me. That's my stance. But bottom line, I go the side that I feel like supports the community more. That's just me though. That's just me. And I respect everyone's opinion, and I think everyone here is the same. We all respect everyone's opinion. I think we have to be open-minded. So don't come here, ladies, with any negative stuff in the chat. We're trying to bash anybody, so no bashing. I'm just putting that out there because we know how these type of conversations can go very quickly south. So Kim, I'll let you launch off the conversation about. I'm sure everyone knows what happened, but I'll let you kick it off.
Okay, so just to say I wasn't completely engulfed in it because I was actually really busy that day. But what happened is my phone was blowing up on the side of my family and other people that I know, other affiliates. Are you watching the TV? Are you seeing what's going on? And I'm thinking, what? So honestly, I didn't see it until 9 o'clock at night when I got home with my daughter. And my first impression, and like you said, no bashing, no shame, no nothing, right? My first impression was, how did this happen? How did a mob like that overpower cops and bust into the Capitol Hill when we've been hearing for weeks? Maybe be cautious with my words. We've been hearing for weeks that this kind of thing could happen, right? And so because of all the series of events that's happened this year with Black Lives Matter, and let me just be clear, Black Lives Matter is for minority people on a whole. It's a movement to stop injustice across the board, to help all of us have equality. So to see something like that and not have a preparation to find out a cop was killed, to find out that woman was killed, and I guess 4 other people, were killed, and that the Marshall Guard wasn't called in until 4 hours later, and to see how other protests were treated this year was very disheartening to me. It was very, I don't want to say shocking, but it almost confirmed what's been going on is real, and it made me very sad. It made me very, very sad. And to sit there with my 21-year-old daughter and watch it and see the sadness in her face, to think, what is our country really about? That hurt me too, as someone who's raised my daughter to be strong and to go after what she wants, and that we're in the best country that you could be in. And then to see something like that happen and it be so dismissive, and still be in a situation right now where there's no consequences yet, still almost a week later, it's very sad.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to say bye, Cindy. Thank you for jumping on. I know she's leaving. She shared, I'm adding collagen to my coffee these days. Yummy. Just want to share her quote before she left. And we have Maria Paloma jumping on with us, also saying good morning, beautiful ladies. So Kim, I agree, with what you said. I think this is definitely one of those topics that there is a lot of let's just be real, there's a lot of racism. You could just and I know that I'm sure Dr. Lopez got a lot to say about this topic. I could see her face, she's holding it in. When I found out about what's going on in Capitol Hill, I just remember I think I don't know how someone texted me and told me, I don't know if it was my husband, or then I know Mary E also mentioned it to me. And I was like, okay, let me turn on this TV and see what's going on. Can I be honest? I wasn't surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I literally was not surprised. I was not in shock. You kind of, like you said, Kim, you kind of knew something was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You just didn't know what or when. Right. Or by who, right? Like, it was kind of like one of those things. It was like up in the air. And I agree, like, to see, it was disappointing, for sure, in my opinion, because it's like, really, I'm sure it was planned out. It was orchestrated. It wasn't like, and it was definitely, I'm trying to be really mindful of how I say things, right? Because I know, right? But let's just be real. Like, when there was a BLM protest, there was a whole bunch of guards in front. It looked like military was there ready, for anything to happen. And when this happened, no one was prepared for whatever reason, right? Like,
right.
So, I must stop here because I'm like, and I see comments coming in, and then we'll let Dr. Lopez share how she perceived it. But Asia, as a very active BLM activist in Southeast Michigan, I was appalled at the lack of police force or National Guard presence at the insurgents at the Capitol, yet the overly excessive force used against peaceful BLM protesters. I can't with the hypocrisy absolutely anymore. Yes, the BLM movement has done a lot for Black and Brown communities. I totally agree with that. Eliza said, neither was I. It was an invitation. We have Yamamat joining. Good morning, ladies. And then, of course, Maria, no shame in speaking the truth. Racism is real and all around us.
Amen. Amen.
Half of the country has voted for this guy. We see the clear division in our country. Thank you for sharing, ladies. So Dr. Lopez shared with us, we're just going let's just recap what happened. Where were we?
Let me tell you something. I'm so happy for Maria Herrera Paloma that she just said, no shame in speaking the truth. And I'm like, why is Jennifer like, let me be soft about Jennifer? This confirms and affirms what we know.
Yep.
It's real and alive in our country, and it's unacceptable.
Yep.
And we have to speak up. We have to speak up. What happened? I mean, I don't even like Kim on that day. Y'all know I was very busy. I wasn't around. I probably was reading something, I don't know, or teaching or something. I wasn't around. And but then I heard about it later in the evening. The word of, I'm gonna bring the word of God right here, right about now. The word of God says that all will come to light. And so while all this time, some individuals and some people, right, in the United States of America and all over the world, because you know what, we want to focus racism here just in the United States, and this is a global issue. This is a global issue. I don't know how much you know about the racism that occurs between Dominicans with Haitians and our Latino countries. Colorism, white, even if you and I both Puerto Rican, even if I'm darker, you're whiter, there is racism there. I read a book that stated, I wish I could remember the author right now. The book, the author states, this is a white or Black America, meaning and alluding to people see you and when people see you, they box you. They put you in either you're white or Black, and that's that. They don't see brown. They don't see any other. They don't take your culture into consideration. They don't take anything else but you're Black or white. And so for me, I wasn't surprised, just like you. And I think Liza said that she wasn't surprised either. I wasn't. It was it's going to be even more prevalent, and we're going to see it because you know what? God don't like ugly. And that's that. Yeah. It's going to come up. It's going to come out. And then one of the things that I, or myself, practice is I'm not staying quiet. We cannot stay quiet. We need to speak up. And it's true, right? When we've seen, for example, some movements where, and specifically Black or Brown, for Black or Brown issues in our communities and in our society, then you see a more of a police force, right? I also want to state here that, and I'm probably going to ruffle. That's how you say ruffle some feathers.
Feathers, yeah.
But you know what? It's okay. It's okay to ruffle feathers, because if we don't ruffle feathers, people don't get to critical thinking, and we need to critical reflect. What's happening in our society. And it's easy to blame the force, or it's easy to blame one person. But listen up, Trump does not scare me. What scares me is the fact that a lot of his ideologies are supported. And that's scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I believe God is in control of everything. And if he's there, God knows what he's doing. Romans 8:28, all things work for good to those who love the Lord according to his purpose. And so I'm going to trust in that word and not completely focus on men. And we're not supposed to focus on men.
No, absolutely. And I think, and just to, go a little bit back, it's not about, when I was being careful, I'm not trying to make this political in the sense of Republican, Democratic. That's not what we're talking about here. And that's what I was referring to.
Okay.
Just making sure everyone knows that, because I'm pretty outspoken. So I know you're like, Jennifer. No, I'm pretty outspoken. But yeah, I think we want to make sure that we're just calling out what's going on, not necessarily saying, oh, these are the Republicans, or oh, these are the Democrats. We ain't doing all that. We're just calling it out, saying it what it is, like you said, bringing it all to the light. And I think, yeah, there's definitely a lot of racism involved. Like, you saw the riots that happened over the summer. Everyone was pretty upset when you broke into a Gucci store. They broke into which
Yep.
everyone's really upset when you broke into a store, which, again, riots, that's what happens when you have riots, right? Things are gonna get burnt down. People are gonna be mad. They have no other outlet of releasing this anger. So we're gonna destroy some stuff. And I'm gonna say we, because we're all minorities, right? Like, we're all minorities, and there are some that are destructive, and there's very peaceful protesters. That in the summer there was a lot of peaceful protests, and then you had a couple people that took it to another level, right? So we can understand the reason why it happened, right? People are just fed up, and they're tired.
Right.
That's bottom line. The only way you're gonna get some people to pay attention is by breaking something, because you got no other way.
Right.
Our infrastructure in our social system and our system in general right now is corrupted with discrimination and racism, whether you see it or not.
Exactly.
And it's anytime something benefits one group more than another, that's abuse of power. And that has been going on for centuries. That is United States of America, which is sad.
Yeah.
But it's the fact and it's the truth. And I think that we should keep fighting. We should keep speaking. We should keep, speaking our truth. And I'm glad I forgot who was recently I saw a news. Oh my God, I don't know who she was. Oh my God, at this moment. But she was stating, she's like, get mad who gets mad. This is the law, and this is what we have to do, and this is how we have to move forward, meaning in a positive sense that whoever needs to get punished for this will get punished for it. We cannot stay quiet about it.
Maybe it was the mayor of DC.
Was it her? Yeah. What's her name? I don't know the mayor of DC.
Yeah, I saw her talk a couple of times. That's why I'm curious if it was her.
Yeah, well, it could be her. It could have been her, because she was very irate. She was like very angry. So proud of her, so composed. I'm like, that would not have been me. I would not have been so composed. But we just, again, I'm gonna continue to stress that we need to speak up. We need to be the voice for those less fortunate. We need to. It starts with us, right? So what is the United States of America, the people in the United States, what is it comprised of? Us, individuals that can do something about it. You know me, Jennifer, both of you know me. I am not I'm solution focused. Don't tell me what the problem is. Tell me what you're going to do about it. That's my view on things. And my daughters are like, Mom, you too, what do they call me? You too rough. Like, they say I'm insensitive. I am not insensitive. We just need to really grab the bull by its horn, fearless, and do what we have to do.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love, can I just say something, Jennifer? I really love, there were two things. There was a commentator who said, when the Black Lives Matter movement, the protesters, it was about equality. It was about systematic racism. It was about being killed if you walk down the street because you were thought of as a criminal.
Yes.
What happened on Capitol Hill was about brown people coming out and voting, and they wanted to overturn the vote for their preferred president. So the reasoning for both of these protests, also look at what the meaning of the protests were, of them overthrowing free votes, people voting, and democracy of electing who we wanted in office that's what this whole overturn of the Capitol Hill was for.
It makes me think about the me society, that we live in.
Oh, right. And the ideal that it's supposed to be country first, not man, not your preferred. It's the country. What's best for the country for all people, right? Mm-hmm. And the second thing too, I think to start the healing, if I may, I'm very passionate about colorism within the minority community.
Yes,
I think that lights me up, because we can't be getting mad at when we see racism acts and then do it ourselves within our community. We need to start with ourselves and be real with ourselves and stop doing that to one another and embrace each other as sisters and brothers and lift each other up.
Yeah.
And stop feeding into that racist way, because then don't jump on it. That's like having one foot in. There's something in the Bible. I know Dr. Lopez can back me up on this. There is no timid when you're talking about God, that timid water, right? You're either
lukewarm.
out. And so you got to know that right now, this is the time, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time where we need to come together.
Yeah.
And
Kim, you say among each other within the culture and the society, but it happens in homes.
Yeah.
And so I was counseling a young lady who, in her family, she was the darkest skin, the darkest. Everybody was lighter, but she just adopted to or what she inherited, right?
Yeah.
Her father's more African, Caribbean African roots.
Right.
And so you could see it all over her. She's very, very beautiful. I call it beautiful cappuccino skin. Very, very beautiful. But guess what? Why I was working with her, because she was suicidal. And it all stemmed from when she was a little girl, through her siblings. She was the darkest, so they always played around. First of all, nicknames. Okay. Yes. I know this show ain't about nicknames. We're not going to even go to nicknames, Jennifer, but within some cultures, nicknames are really, really prevalent, and some of them are very hurtful. I'll give you an example. Gorda. I used it. My daughter tells me today, Mom, why did you ever call me like that? But it was because she was so cute and chubby, and I was biting her legs, and she was so cute. And so that's one. But this young lady, she was called dark, like Morena, the Morena of the family. And the siblings playing around. Siblings, they play around all the time. They fight. Oh my God, my mom hasn't told you, but we picked you up out of the garbage can. That's why you don't look like us. And so that was infiltrated in her through playing with her. You don't belong in this family. Look at you, you're black. And so she became very depressed. At the age of 18, she ran away. And so some work was done with her, and that was the root of it. The root of it, very low self-esteem, no self-love, and wondering, who am I? Where do I belong? Because of the whole colorism that was happening within her own family. That later on, I'm happy to report, has changed, and she's doing amazing today. But it was really disheartening to see the damage that was done. Our words, the power of our words, right? Like what that does, our words like build, or our words kill.
Yeah.
And I think even like the colorism, like you said, those nicknames, right? It's a big deal. Like if you're light, you're picked on, right? Because
that's a flip in the Black community.
Yeah, and the Latino community too. I mean, it's also in the Latino community. Like you're more favored if you have more European standards, or they're jealous of you because you have more European standards, right? Like it ain't my fault. Like, like I just gonna use myself example. My dad is probably darker than both of you guys, and he's really dark, right? My mom is just really light. Like she tans red she has green eyes. My dad is dark skinned, more indigenous, right? And I'm like caught in the middle. And then when I get, and then after a while, when you realize someone's using and highlighting your European features as a negative, then it's like, bro, it's not my fault. Like, don't get mad at me because I'm this shade, right? Like I didn't do anything, but colorism is really real, and I'm sure, Kim, you have a lot to say on that as well, because I know it's big in the African American community as well, right?
Well, me being multiracial and actually embracing that before it was really popular, my family raised me like that because they were very aware of what we were, and they were very about our history. So I know my European history, I know my African history, I know my Latin history, I know those things. Now, I was lied to as a kid, that's another segment, but when I did my own background check with Ancestry.com, I realized, okay, this is how they raised me. Like I said before, it was popular, but they raised me to value people's character. They raised me to accept people and to because the person that you least expect is going to be the person that's there for you. And color has nothing to do with character. And in our family, I wasn't picked on being lighter. It's when I got out into society. And you're very right, Dr. Lopez. It's like when you're mixed, like if you're Puerto Rican and you're una mulata puertorriqueña, you can just say I'm Puerto Rican. People are like, okay. But if you don't say I'm Puerto Rican, you say I'm multiracial. Well, what are you, black or white? It's either black or white. You got to choose. And if you don't choose, people don't like that on both sides. Like what Jennifer's saying, I'm lighter. So in an African community, Black women can think that I think I'm better. And no, sister, I don't. I'm loving on all of us. I want all of us to be unified because we're all beautiful. We all have talents. We all should have equality, and we all should not be oppressed because of our heritage. And that's something that's really important to me. And I embrace my Latina sisters and my women of color. I'm a woman of color, and I embrace that first and foremost. And I just would like to see us become more unified in that. And I think when you know your history, like you said, you have European, you have indigenous, most Latin America is the melting pot of the world. There is European, there's Indian, there's Black, there's French, there's everything within the Europe and the Latina community. That's what makes Latinos so beautiful. So embrace that, and let's just start with us first by embracing one another. And I think that will build the strength, the confidence, the courage. And then when someone's trying to oppress, you can stop. But when we're doing it with each other, it makes it easy for that infiltrator to come in and confuse us.
And
in my opinion,
when you're talking about the melting pot, I wanna encourage you also to read about the salad bowl. Read about the salad because I am against that melting pot ideology in a sense. Why? Because then, but it happens, we become acculturated. And so therefore, if you don't act like the dominant culture, or if you don't adapt the things of the dominant culture, then you're not accepted. And here you are going to experience even more racism and discrimination, right? And so the melting pot means, listen, in the United States of America, we're all, not the melting pot, the bowl, the salad bowl. We're all in the salad bowl all together, but I don't need to adapt your ideologies, your ways, or think and act like you so that I can be accepted. And yes, definitely. So
Dr. Lopez, can you explain what is the salad bowl analogy for the viewers? I see comments coming in and I'm trying to keep track of them.
I see that. And then I also see Jamilet also says about the plants. She reminded her about the power of our words with that study of the plants. Jamilet, I know exactly what you're talking about. That is so true. Yeah. So again, the salad bowl ideology is that in the United States of America, you can read about that. Yes. In the United States of America, it's comprised, right? We are many different cultures and ethnicities, and we're here, right? Let's bring it to Chicago, right? Chicago, I believe it. Let's start small. Let's do it in small steps, like we learn in the Wise coaching program, right, Jennifer? Small steps. So we have Little Village, we have Little Italy, we have Chinatown, we have, back in the day, Homo Park was Puerto Rican area, right? I'm not sure today anymore, but right? So many. Need I go Jewish community, the Polish community. Need I go on? And so that's what it means. We're all in a bowl, in a salad bowl. It's like we're all in a salad bowl, but when you talk about melting, it means that then we acculturate, right? We become one, and that it's not. For one, if you ask individuals, let's say from the African American community, they'll say, we're not one. We're being, discriminated against all the time. And so it's an ideology that, you know what? We are together but we are different, and different is good, and we need to celebrate who we are, and we just can. Man, who loves salads together? I mean, there's a salad that has strawberries and chickens and
I do.
not chickens, chicken. Chicken and what else? Oh, kale and spinach. And, I like to believe I'm the spinach, and a little bit of everything. We're all together in that salad bowl, but we're not enmeshed. You know what I mean? We're not melted together. We really, and in a sense, you can think about also the melting pot in a different sense, in that we're also, oh my Lord, we're gonna go deep with this. I don't know if you want to go deep with this. Who is 100% pure what?
Nobody, or not very many.
Pure what? I hope you're a pure human being, or else then you're not my kind. But you see what I'm saying? So the salad bowl is just that we're all could just be this delicious salad with all our individuality, with all who we are, our beliefs, our culture, and then just live together in harmony and become this delicious salad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the author of that. Research it. I gotta find out who did this. It wasn't me, but I read it and it resonated. It resonated with me.
Yeah, that's really good. I like the salad bowl analogy also. And I guess when we bring it back to systemic racism, I mean, I remember even thinking about when everything kicked off and everything started happening and things from darkness started coming to light after, George Floyd. People don't realize that Chicago in itself is very systemically racist, right?
Yeah.
Because you said all these neighborhoods. Well, we are one of the most segregated cities in the United States of America. We were purposely segregated by the 290. People don't know that the 290 was specifically made. What is it? The Eisenhower? What's the 290? Okay. The Eisenhower was specifically put there to keep Black people on one side and white people on the other side. Like, people don't realize why that was designed that way. People don't realize that CTA buses don't run into affluent communities after a certain amount of time, because they only want minority groups to come into these communities during 9 to 5 hours, aka your cleaners, your maintenance, your right. If you do not have public, right, let's think low income, you don't have a car, you can't go into more affluent communities by without a car. You can't do it with CTA. It stops. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced it, but like, why the heck ain't the bus running at this time? Right. There's certain sidewalks not made in certain communities because they're trying to avoid walking from one community into another community. People don't pay attention to these things, right? So it's like, it's strategic, even your entire city. So here's my naive butt. When I was younger, when I went to DC, I didn't realize that we were the most segregated city until I went to DC, because DC, it's mixed, right? Everyone's mixed together. And I remember it was like one block, like, I guess their ghettos is like one block good, one block bad, one block good, one block bad. Like, that's how it works. Like, that's their hoods and stuff. Like, this block is a safe block, but then the next block could be very scary. So me walking through DC, I thought, well, again, I was, I just saw white people walking towards one direction, and I was like, oh, it's got to be safe. My thinking, right? And this is me I'm being vulnerable, showing my ignorance at that time. I was just walking that direction thinking, oh, well, it's safer that way. Let me walk that way, right? Because you're going to correlate that. Why was I thinking that? What in media has told me that, right? Like, and I remember when I got back to the hotel room, I was told, like, I told the lady which direction I walked. I got lost. I didn't realize I was in a bad neighborhood. And one lady was like, we have a safer way for you to travel through the DC area instead of you walking in that direction. I didn't realize where I was going. I was just trying to find the White House. I don't know which way I was going, and I should have known it was Pennsylvania Avenue. So
I could totally relate. I went to DC and I experienced this same thing. A taxi driver picked me up and I said, I want to go there. And he's like, you can't go there.
Yeah, and I think the host, the hotel bought me a drink. They said, just because you were this bold, we're gonna give you a free drink. I was like, what?
Wow.
I didn't realize this, right? But because here in the city in Chicago, we're so segregated,
Wow.
you know your neighborhoods, you think, well, this neighborhood is this because it's this race versus that race, right? So just something to share with you ladies, like people don't realize that we are the most segregated city. Why do you think that when all the riots happen in the city, they put the bridges up?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't want no one to go in there. They knew that if they put the bridges up, people weren't going to get into the downtown area.
Wow.
So I think like my husband, it took him like 2 hours to get into his like work location in downtown when the riots were happening because of those bridges. Like there was only one way in from one specific highway, and that's it.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm just sharing this.
So
So
that doesn't, right? It doesn't, again, it doesn't surprise me.
No. So I wanted to share that with you guys, but I think we can go into the whole idea words have power, right?
Oh my God, yes.
And Kim, you were the one that wanted to talk about this because it still goes with everything that we're talking about. Colorism, what Dr. Lopez was saying. Kim, share why you wanted to talk about this.
Well, this could be a different segment, but I was reading this book this week, and I went to visit my sister Lisa in the city, and she's like, you're gonna love this because whenever there's something Mexican heritage by my kid's dad being Mexican, she's like, I got this great book because it's a Mexican author, Dr. Don Luis, I can't remember his last name, and it's called The Four Agreements. It's a small book, but it is amazing. And it just talks, one of the topics that it talked about was being impeccable with your words. Words can lift or words can break. Words can inspire or words can, just demonize. You know what I mean? So we see this, and, people who are manipulative, and and this is, so since we're not tiptoeing, this is my version of, what's happening in our world right now. You need to be aware of words too, because people know how to manipulate with words. And that's where it's very scary, is if you're not aware of the intent. Intention is real. And just because some people say, my intention was good, but how did, if your intention was good, how did you use the word? Have you ever heard of, like, I can't, this is something that's a pet peeve of mine. When someone wants to say something to you, but they do it like in a smiley face, like, oh, Kim, that jacket, it's cute, but, and then they say something derogatory and they go, oh, I was just joking. No, you weren't. I don't, you got to be careful with how you use your words. And just going back to what, is happening in our world, all the words that have been used, everyone's depicting the words to even try to bring justice to something that if another group would have never been done, as we said, right? But because certain words were used, they're trying to manipulate. Well, the words meant this and the words meant that. So, I just always feel like with that part, we have to be aware and understand and know the intent. And then on the other flip side of words, as far as my women communities, like this beautiful community of wives, is be careful with your words when you're lifting. And that doesn't mean perfection. That just means, like what Dr. Lopez said about saying to each other, like, "Ay, gorda, ven para acá." Like, I've never liked gorda because I'm thick. So when someone calls me gorda, I was always like, "Don't call me gorda." I never really liked that word, right?
Yeah.
But just be careful with it. Choose things that are more uplifting. And then another thing is when you don't get stuck in it. Don't beat yourself up for it. I might say because I've been conditioned to say, my kid's husband, my ex-husband is Mexican. So in the family, gorda is real. Like, ven para acá, gorda. No digas so gorda. Oh, ya viene gorda. That's her name. That's my sister-in-law's name. So I had to talk to my children to say, it doesn't mean anything derogatory in the culture. It's a loving, it's a loving thing for your Tia Fanny. But we don't have to say that. But that's something that's loving to Tia Fanny, and I respect that. So the intent to my sister-in-law was not bad, but then you can choose how you want to, verbalize that. And I choose not to, because I would rather call my daughter beautiful, or my baby girl, or something that makes her feel loved in my perspective, right? So I have grown as I've gotten older, because this wasn't taught to me young. It's something that I've gravitated to because I see the damage of words, and I personally take accountability for myself to be more cautious of the word. And that doesn't mean I'm tiptoeing. It just means I want to be aware of what I'm saying, because I do want to uplift. I don't want to degrade. I want to embrace, and I want to welcome. I want to welcome you. I want you to feel good about being around me. That don't mean everybody likes me. It just means that's who I want to be as a woman.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see? So
that's
it
good.
was very good. And it just talked about being impeccable. I love what he said. He said, be impeccable with your words. He elevated that, right? And that just motivated me. Like, when I read that, I was like, wow, I'm going to put that on my board. Be impeccable with your words. Like, when you say things that bring power, it changes your disposition. It makes you want to be better. And so that word just made me want to be better, going out every day to be impeccable with my word.
Let me say something to you, Kim. What you're stating, it just resonates so well with who you are. Because ever since I met you, you have nothing else but positive words, not only to say about me, to say towards me, but I have never heard you. And I don't know you what how many years now? Maybe 3?
Well, I met you with Jennifer, so I think 3. Yeah, I met you in the WISE community.
You're speaking about this is you, and you totally embody it, and you're right. It's powerful. I love being around you because everything you have to say is positive and encouraging, and even if you point out, some areas where they need to get better, you do it with a positive connotation and note behind it, and you live it. So I love hearing you talk about this, because you embody what you're stating. You're true to it. I love it. And you speak about the book of the 4 Agreements, which I've read years ago, but the word of God. The word of Proverbs 18:21. I mean, in one small little Bible verse, the tongue has the power of life and death. When if we, I'm preparing a message on this topic, as a matter of fact. So when Jennifer, you said it, I'm like, God, you never cease to amaze me. Because he's been speaking a lot to me about the power of our words. And so I'm reading, you all want to have a feast? Read in the Bible, James chapter 3. You're going to love it. You're going to bask in it. I mean, I don't know if you girls know me. I love the Bible. I love the word. So, and then everything is in the Bible. I mean, the 4 Agreements, it's in the Bible. Every other book, it's in the word of God. Says there's nothing new under the sun. I just love it. So I'm working on it, and I tell you why, because I grew up in a very negative, toxic environment. And so, I'm going to get emotional right about now. My very spirit was crushed. My very spirit was, I call it, somebody turned off my light. When somebody turned off my light. In fact, that's another book coming up. Because we all need to realize and recognize that every word that comes out of our mouth, it's either killing or it's either giving life. It's like that study of the plants that Jamile was talking about. And that's what it did to me. That's what it did for me. That it killed the very essence of, I remember thinking I was so smart. As a little girl, I was so, y'all know I'm energetic. Well, imagine me. As a little girl, I was 10 times more energetic. My mom said she couldn't help me down. My mom said I was dancing in her stomach and danced before I walked. That's how energetic I've always been. And so at some point, somebody turned off that light. And it could be, right, if we want to get deep with this, it could be that, oh, well, Maribel, allow those words to take root in her. But no, a little girl, somebody you're trying to build, and somebody that you're trying to, I always say, Lord, thank you for the children that you gave me, because you allowed me to, alongside with you, not only create, but then those lives, depending on how I instruct them and what I instill in them and what I put in them, are going to give that kind of fruit.
Yeah.
And so my kids, for my new book that's coming out, God's Not Mad at You, my kids, I had my husband and my kids write the foreword. And if you read in what they say, I think my son, he says, I went after my dreams because my mom always told me to go after my dreams, that I could do anything I wanted to. And I'm like, yes, because I can tell you, I'm not, who am I to say to you, use my words to bring you down? I really, if I believe the word of God, that you are created in his image, and what he says in 2 Timothy 1:7, that you're more powerful than you think you are. You have the spirit of power. You know what I mean? Then who am I to say what you can or cannot do? And who am I to go ahead and destroy God's creation? And so he's been working on me on this, because, believe it or not, and as positive as I like to think I am, sometimes I say negative things. And not only, for example, me, when Jennifer said, oh yeah, come for the coffee chat, and Kim, you were there when I said to Kim, oh my God, I don't want to interview anymore. I'm terrible at interviewing. I'm terrible at, this type of, that's me speaking negative of myself and to myself. And I heard God, I heard the whisper. What have I told you? What have I told you? Stop speaking negative or negativism over your life, and death over your life. And so that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be nourishing. We're supposed to be planting good seeds. We're supposed to be uplifting one another. I can change the whole atmosphere in a room by what you say when you walk in that room.
Can I just say, you oh my God, you're just so powerful. But I just want to say one more thing, and I challenge our viewers for this one. And this is something that I learned, just in the last, and I'm going to be totally transparent with you ladies, I'm 57. So I started learning this at 50. So it's only been in evolution for me personally in the last 7 years. Not only be careful what you say to others, but the first and foremost, be careful what you say to yourself. Even when you say, I'm fat. Oh, you know what? I don't want to go to that event because I don't like how I look. Like right now, I've been in seclusion for 9 months. I gained 20 some pounds. So, I could be, that's a very negative thing for me, right? That's a negative thing that's put on women. So be careful what you say to yourself. Self-love is so important. And, and for believers, we are the image of God. So we just love on ourselves first. Don't call yourself stupid, fat, I can't, I shouldn't. If you start to do those I am affirmations, trust me, they do work. It might seem tedious or just not unnatural, but just do some I am in the morning when you wake up. I am powerful. I am a great businesswoman. I am an amazing mother. I am a loving wife. I am a beautiful being. I am a woman of God.
I am highly favored. I am chosen, set apart. You know what I'm saying? A royal priesthood. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I mean, we can go on. I am beautiful. You said it. I mean, I I think I mentioned this to you ladies before. I because of my childhood sexual trauma, by the age of 14, I thought I was a monster. I thought I avoided mirrors, and I thought I was just so ugly. I thought I was a monster. I don't have another word. That's what in my little girl's mind, in my teenager's mind, I thought I was a monster, and so I wouldn't look at myself and in the mirror. And then one day, in one of the darkest moments in my life, I looked at myself in the mirror, and just as a whisper, the Lord said, "You are beautiful. I made you. I knitted you together in your mother's womb." I knew then God was God created me with his own hands, and my mom was chosen to be my mom with that Bible verse. But then Kim, you're right. Every day, those were my affirmations. I am beautiful, even though I didn't think it. Even though at that time I didn't think it. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. Now today, ask me if I think it. I am a beautiful daughter of the Almighty King, and I think it.
Yes. Amen. I think this is good. I even did I think something to catch, and I shared this in the private group, is everyone right now is talking about throwing away 2021 already and throwing it in the dumpster. Yeah, if you pay attention to memes, if you pay attention to people's language, people are not very enthused about the new year, especially with what everything happened, right? So, like you both said, our words have power. So if we're speaking negative over our year, we're speaking negative over our marriages, over our homes, over our life, like you said, that's what we're gonna live, that's what we're gonna eat, that's what we're gonna manifest. Whatever words people like to use, that's what's gonna end up happening, because words do have power. So I know that we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. So what I wanted to do is, the only reason I wanted to bring this up, the only reason, if anyone here was a Xena versus Hercules fan, right? I just thought it was really funny because there was articles written recently, because I guess Hercules was saying something about, not Hercules, the actors, not these whoever the actors are, right? Said something, but Xena commented and said, like, you send your trolls out to do your biddings or something. She said to him with what happened in Capitol Hill. So I just wanted to bring that out. If you guys were a Xena or Hercules fan, share it in the chat. I don't know if people were, but I love Xena. And then we wanted to wrap up with some stress tips. We have a couple minutes. Kim, I know you did a little bit of research on this. Can you share? Because right now we know that people are, high anxiety. They're probably feeling overwhelmed, right? The year started off and they might be feeling a little down right now. So can you share a couple of tips that we can leave the viewers with? And then
Sure.
we have Asia. She said Team Xena.
I don't know Asia, but I've just loved her for these last 2 weeks. We've been on.
Me too. I want to meet Asia.
All of the viewers. I mean, you just have such a great community anyway, Jennifer. This is such a beautiful community. But Asia's outspoken. I just love her energy, and I don't even know her. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And Mary, I will hug you any day, girlfriend. You know I love you. So really quick, because I know we're on a time schedule, is that 2 things that stood out for me, because they had about 7. And one of them said, know that how you feel is normal. So whatever side of the fence you're on, it's normal to feel the anxiety. It's normal to feel anxious. It's normal to feel scared and even a bit paralyzed. That's what Ariana Gallagher says from the State of University of Wexler Medical Center. And she said the human body is very well suited to cope with our individual stresses. But amidst all the violence and mayhem, it's just not clear because we feel like we're unstable, and that's what gets us very uneasy. But just to do more of what I was talking about, just being more positive. Don't engage in negative conversation. That one, I feel like when we get, even if we're hearing what we want to hear, I'm Team Xena too, just to let you know. But I do try to always be on a respectful scale, understand my opponent, right? Understand the other side. So if we engage more in just trying to understand, maybe I know it's hard to do, but just understand. So it helps you. Remember forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't just help the other person. It's mainly to help yourself to get to the next level. So don't hold this personal, because at the end of the day, we have to still go on with our lives, and we just got to get through this the best way possible. And the other thing was, don't engulf yourself in the television. Those were the two that I took away from the 7 that I felt like, don't get, know what's going on, but, maybe put on a timer and say, I'm going to look at this for 10 minutes. Right? Or I'm going to look at one segment of the news, but don't Facebook it all day. Don't let it control you. Keep on with your goals. Keep on with those positive affirmations. Keep on with our sisterhood. Keep on with your groups. Keep on with your calendar. A lot of you made your vision board. Focus on your vision board. Don't focus on the negative. For sure, it will bring you down. So those were 2 stress tips that I read into over yesterday that I thought I'd bring to you, because I think they're relevant and probably the most that we could adhere to.
Nice. Well, that is amazing tips, Kim, for sharing with the viewers. I'm sorry, I have the dog having a ball over here. So Kim and Maribel, can you guys share any promotions that you have before we wrap up?
Yeah, and I just want to add one more thing with what Kim was saying. Self-care.
Right.
Whatever it is that, empowers you, whatever it is that makes you feel good. And it's, do whatever on your part. I love all the suggestions, Kim. That's why I don't watch a lot of news, because of that. But yeah, I'm promoting my book, God's Not Mad at You. I saw Dolly around there. Good morning, Dolly. God is Not Mad at You, with Rose Gold Publishing. And we're thinking, let me see, ladies, if all of you can help me up with this. We're thinking about doing the book launch on my birthday, which is January 26th. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is my birthday month. And even though I say this with a smile, this was a very hard book to write, because I share my testimony and how I overcame childhood abuse, incest, and sexual abuse and rape. And so it was a really hard book to write, but it was the time. This is the times, and this is the time that I had to share. And I'm happy to be a collaborator with God, to share not only my story, but share his story, and how he helped me heal through it all, and how he helped me overcome a lot of the ramifications, a lot of the ugliness that comes out of that happening to somebody in somebody's life. And so I give thanks to God. I give all the honor and all the glory to God for saving me, for keeping me, and today for allowing me again to be part of his kingdom.
Awesome. We're excited for the book. So ladies, Dr. Lopez, if you can share the link, if you have like your website, and share it in the comment section of the broadcast. I believe it's Dr. Lopez.
It's www.drmaribellopez.com. And I also have a few of the other books there too.
Awesome. So now you know, ladies, where you can get the books when I think they're in pre-order, you said already?
Oh, by the way, there's a pre-order link. So if you go to my Facebook page, on my cover page, and you click on the cover on the book, there is a pre-order link. You're right. And I thank all the ladies that have already ordered the book. I had one lady who ordered 6 books, and I'm praying and signing each and one of those books, and praying over those lives that are reading this book, because I know the Lord is going to do wonderful things in their life, just like he did for me.
Okay. Wonderful. So now you know, ladies. Kim, do you have any words that you want to share before we close out?
Sure. So I just wanted to say, as you all know, I'm the owner of Crystal Clear Cleaning. We do go to the city for deep cleans, but we are centralized in the northwest suburbs. But I did want to share with you that if you want more information about how you can have a non-toxic home, as Jennifer had mentioned last week about spots on your clothes, I also belong to a great membership club like an Amazon, a Sam's Club, a Costco, and I can teach you how you can have a non-toxic environment all the way around your home. So I would love to share that information. I put my phone number, my email, and my website to my business in the chat, but just give me a call. I'd love to talk to you and help you out in any way I can. And I'm so proud of you, Maribel.
Yes, this is awesome, ladies. So definitely check out both ladies. And of course, I'm going to make sure that I announce this. We are launching the Biggest Loser Challenge. It starts today. So today, initial weigh-in starts today. We'll still enroll a couple more days, but basically what it is if you know the Biggest Loser, where you have to weigh and jump on a scale and keep track of your pounds and keep track of how much body fat percentage you have, this is the community that does that. So we are going to launch it 2 times this year, where if you're trying to lose a couple of pounds or you're trying to gain some muscle mass, you can join this community and register online. It's $45 for the next 3 months. It's an accountability group. That's essentially what it is. So we keep track. You keep track of the weight scale, and trust me, you will not put them extra calories in your body when you know that you're going to get fined for gaining weight. All right, I'm just putting that out there. So, like, if you know you are in a challenge, you're going to be very mindful of what you put in your body, unless you like paying money, unless you like paying fines. That's on you, right? That's but we like to a lot of the women in our community like to lose weight or get toned, or we're all about health and wellness, and really it's about a lifestyle. It's not about just losing weight. It's about being mindful of our choices and our habits. So you can register for that as well. I'll put the link in the chat on the Facebook if anyone wants to join. $45, 3 months. And trust me, we've had 267 pounds our community has lost as a whole.
Wow.
As a whole.
Wow, that's
267.
beautiful.
Yeah, so that challenges a lot of women to be really mindful of their habits. So just wanted to share that with you, ladies. So thank you so much, everyone. I know we had a lot to talk about. I know it was very enlightening, this conversation. So you guys have an amazing day. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Have a very positive week.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you too, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This was awesome. I loved it. I don't wake up really often, so this was great.
Me either, girl.
Bye, ladies. God bless you.